On April 5, 2017, Jacob Gray pedaled his bicycle deep into the Pacific Northwest wilderness. His bike was fully loaded, camping gear, food, and essentials strapped securely to the frame. The weather was cool, the road quiet. He passed through the Olympic Peninsula in Washington state, heading toward Olympic National Park, a place of breathtaking beauty and, at times, unforgiving isolation. Jacob was 22. Fit, free-spirited, and passionate about nature, he often sought solitude in wild places. But something about this trip felt different. The next day, a park ranger noticed something strange near Sol Duke Hot Springs Road. A lone bicycle leaning against a tree. It hadn't been crashed or discarded. In fact, it looked intentional. Everything was neatly packed. The gear hadn't been disturbed. Nothing stolen, no signs of struggle. But Jacob was gone. At first, there was no real panic. Maybe he'd wandered off to explore. Maybe he'd set up camp nearby. But hours passed, then days, and Jacob never returned. His father, Randy Gray, drove 800 miles from Santa Cruz the moment he heard. He wasn't going to wait for answers. He was going to find his son. And so began one of the most extensive and baffling search efforts in the park's history. Dozens of search and rescue workers scoured the area. Tracking dogs sniffed the ground. Drones flew overhead. Helicopters swept across miles of forest. Volunteers combed the rugged terrain on foot. They checked riverbanks, hiking trails, old logging roads, everywhere a person might go. And yet, nothing. No footprints, no scraps of clothing, no shelter, no clues. It was like he had stepped into the trees and vanished. For weeks, then months, the search continued. His father camped near the site, refusing to leave. He spoke with psychics, followed every lead, and even entered dangerous areas alone. Nothing made sense. A year passed. Still no trace. Then, in August 2018, more than a year after Jacob vanished, a group of hikers deep in the backcountry made a discovery. Human remains, tattered clothing, a boot. It was nearly 8 miles from where the bicycle had been found. DNA confirmed the heartbreaking truth. It was Jacob Gray. The coroner determined he had likely died of hypothermia, probably within a day or two of leaving his bike. The cold nights, the mountainous terrain, and the unpredictable wilderness had proven fatal. But the questions didn't end there. Why did Jacob abandon his gear? He had packed carefully. He wasn't reckless. Yet he left behind everything that could have helped him survive. No tent, no sleeping bag, no food, no water. Why would he walk 8 miles into the middle of nowhere, alone, unarmed, and unprepared? Some suggest a mental health crisis. Others think he was chasing something, maybe a spiritual awakening, a personal revelation, or something only he understood. A few believe he was trying to disappear from society and live wild. But if that was the plan, it failed tragically. And then there's the darker theory. What if he wasn't alone? What if someone, or something, lured him off that path? There was no sign of foul play, but the sheer strangeness of his disappearance continues to haunt everyone who hears his story. Jacob Gray walked into the Olympic wilderness with a clear mind and a prepared heart. But whatever he was searching for in those ancient woods, he never came back. September 25, 1981, was a perfect autumn afternoon in Tennessee. Polly Melton, 58 years old, was an experienced hiker, familiar with the Deep Creek Trail. She had walked this trail many times with her husband and friends. It was nothing new to her. That day, she was accompanied by 2 friends. The 3 women strolled through the forest, enjoying the fresh air and golden leaves of early fall. Polly was in great spirits. She laughed, she joked, and even walked faster than usual. Then, something strange happened. Out of nowhere, Polly picked up her pace, striding ahead of her friends. At first, they didn't think much of it. Maybe she just wanted to stretch her legs. But as she disappeared over a small hill, she never came back. Her friends called her name. Silence. They hurried ahead, expecting to see her up the trail, but she was gone. At first, no one panicked. Polly had gone hiking plenty of times before. Maybe she had just walked ahead and was waiting by their campsite. But when they returned, expecting to see Polly relaxing by the fire, she wasn't there. Now alarmed, her friends alerted park rangers, and an immediate search was launched. Dozens of searchers scoured the area, volunteers, rangers, even tracking dogs. But Polly had vanished without a trace. No footprints, no clothing, no scent for the dogs to pick up. It was as if she had never been there at all. This case is especially bizarre because Polly wasn't carrying anything. No supplies, no food, not even her medication for her heart condition. Wherever she went, she had no way to survive. So, what happened? Medical emergency. Some believe Polly had a heart attack or stroke and collapsed somewhere off trail. But if that were the case, why was her body never found? Foul play. Could Polly have been abducted? But how would anyone kidnap her in broad daylight with 2 witnesses nearby? Did she choose to vanish? A shocking detail later emerged. Polly had been acting strangely in the days leading up to her disappearance. Some speculated she was unhappy in her marriage and wanted to disappear. But how? She had no money, no supplies, and no way to escape unnoticed. During the search, Polly's friends Red and Trula recalled a moment from their final hike together. As Polly moved ahead, she sped up, leaving them in her dust. "I wouldn't want to be in a foot race with you, Polly," Red joked, as they both struggled to keep up. Polly glanced back one last time, her smile fading as she turned toward the path ahead, and vanished into the forest. No sound, no trace, just silence. Over 40 years later, Polly Melton's fate remains a mystery. She stepped ahead of her friends and walked into the unknown.